chaos and danger are always the words that come to mind when referring to the area in northern Myanmar. A very dark land makes anyone who hears it shudder with fear. But if northern Myanmar is considered hell on earth, however, there is still another place, much more scary, where humans are no longer considered humans. There, everything can be exchanged as a commodity. That place is really considered hell, where there is no way out. And before we get into today's video, please help us with a like, subscribe channel, and turn on notification bell to receive the latest news from us. Thanks a lot. Opening today's story, we will talk about an entrepreneur together. Her name is Zipei from Taiwan. One day, she suddenly received a call from her friend. In phone, her friend's voice rang out in fear. She cried and told Zipei that himself was sold to the KK area in Myawaddy, and now the kidnappers are demanding a huge ransom. Myawaddy, perhaps not too strange to those who love crime-solving genre and dramatic stories. Myawaddy is located in eastern Myanmar, is the country's second largest port. Along with the northern region of Myanmar, Myawaddy is famous for its nickname, Hell of Scam. Zipei, person with more than 10 years of experience, living and working on the border of Myanmar and Thailand, also have wide relationship, and has accumulated some capital. So, she quickly arranged for a $170,000 ransom, and contact the intermediary to take her to the suburbs, KK area to ransom his friend. However, when arriving, Zipei had to wait for 2 hours, but still no one came. At this moment in her mind, had a premonition that something was wrong. After begging, finally, she got to meet the area manager and learned a horrifying truth. Her friend was targeted by a buyer from Dubai. This person paid 5 times more to possess her body parts, so over an hour ago, her friend was taken to the medical ship, go out to sea to perform surgery. When heard the manager mentioned medical ship at sea, Zipei immediately understood that your friend's life has come to an end. Myanmar's sea medical ship bears the Red Cross symbol. Look from afar will make people feel like a safe place of support. This ship was also used originally for the purpose of maritime relief, but the current reality, it is no longer a place to save people. That is where human life will end. Because medical ship at sea has long been popular as a place for online scams in northern Myanmar. Why is that? Because the ocean is vast, is a difficult place to manage, so any criminal acts here, it is difficult to collect evidence. All medical ships at sea anchored at Myawaddy never be on a life-saving mission, as we often think. On the contrary, become a center for organ trafficking. Although at present, there are official channels to receive body parts from donors, but the number is still very small. Not to mention, is if you want to find the parts fit for yourself, also very difficult. Per year, there are more than 1 million people waiting in line, hope to have suitable body parts to be saved. Among them, there is no shortage of rich and powerful people who are willing to spend huge amounts of money to buy a suitable body part, regardless of the origin of those parts. Also for this reason, so the transactions on the black market become the best choice. On the black market, there are only things you cannot imagine, but nothing is impossible. From cornea to liver, kidney, or even skin, as long as it is a human body part, will all be priced clearly. A kidney here could be traded for up to $1.65 million. The price of a liver can also be up to millions of dollars. And of course, remaining body parts also have different prices. With the rich, money means nothing to their lives. To sustain life, these people will not hesitate to spend a huge amount of money to buy body parts that suit themselves. And the origin of these body parts, most of them come from piglet. Piglet is the way to call. In northern Myanmar online scam area, These people, completely worthless to use. Everyone knows the scam area in northern Myanmar is a place of no escape. But for the victims kidnapped to this area, this is just the beginning. In their long series of miserable days, people who were tricked into going to northern Myanmar, there is no escape from a cyclical process, starting from the moment of setting foot in the dark land. They have completely lost their personal freedom. The brutal managers here, we'll call them, are the push dogs. If there is any non-compliance with the regulations, will suffer brutal beatings. When to reach the limit of fear of being beaten, will proceed to the next step. With obedient people, the scam gang will start training them. During this time, all need to master the techniques and tricks of fraud, as directed by superiors. When they forget or make mistakes, anytime, will all be subjected to electric batons and whips. Once familiar with the process and methods taught, pushing dog will officially start the scam business. To this step doesn't mean good things have come. No dream of becoming rich with $1,000,000 income that never existed. During all working hours, these pushing dogs, absolutely no freedom at all. They will be detained at work, under constant surveillance, only allowed to go to the toilet during the specified time. Daily tasks of the pushing dogs is to have to keep calling non-stop, find all ways to cheat money from others. The manager will assign specific tasks to each person, from a few dollars to a few $1,000s. Performance requirements is a nightmare for pushing dogs, because if not complete the assigned task, horror awaits them. That is to be imprisoned and have one's limbs amputated. In this completely inhuman place, the fate of women is much more miserable. vs. the pushing dogs. Because women are so rare, so they have almost no chance. Escape from becoming a delicious prey for men. Beautiful people, obedient people, will be sent to serve the entertainment managers. But once they get tired of playing, even beautiful women will also be sold to others to play with. With beautiful women, but stubborn and disobedient, they will be trained. With people of average appearance, then pushed to the hall to serve customers. Just step into this place. Most women will suffer from serious illnesses, and the rest of their lives considered to end here. However, that's not the worst ending yet. They should pray in gratitude, because at least they still keep their lives. Because there are people who suffer much more than them. Reality in northern Myanmar, the value of a living person is much higher compared to selling body parts. Rumors on the internet about the victims who lost their kidneys appeared quite a lot. However, that is not very common here, because medical conditions are still very poor. Surgery to remove the kidney from the human body need highly skilled people and requires modern medical facilities. Furthermore, this also runs the risk of failure due to infection during the procedure and due to backward medical level. In northern Myanmar, completely unable to meet the standards to perform this type of surgery. But the matter is northern Myanmar not possible, does not mean there is no way to perform this type of surgery. Because these unfortunate victims, once they set foot in this place, then they are no longer human. They become tools, exploited until it loses all value. More than that, in Myanmar there still exists a place, even scarier than the area in the north. That is Myawaddy. If northern Myanmar considered the beginning of pain, until the victim has lost all value to exploit here, those victims will be sold to Myawaddy, where barbarism and cruelty are pushed to the extreme, makes anyone who hears it shudder with fear. When the piglets no longer have the ability to scam, and non-compliance with regulations, their fate was cruelly decided, considered as useless goods, and was sold to Myawaddy for hundreds of thousands of dollars. After arriving in Myawaddy, they can temporarily feel some peace, at least not subjected to violence. But it's all fake, because just have a millionaire find the body part that suits them. Then the piglet's life will start counting down. Per hour. Per minute. On medical ships at sea, far out at sea, all parts of the human body are all priced clearly, from fragile skin to precious internal organs. As long as there is someone in need, piglets will be sold without hesitation, with fluctuating prices, from several hundred to several $100,000 USD. After the millionaires, with the area manager, has reached an agreement on price, the medical ship will take the piglets out to sea. The vast ocean is a difficult place to control, so it becomes the perfect stage for the horror crime. Myawaddy is completely different compared to northern Myanmar. If the ransom is paid in full, in the north, you can totally save people. Leave this area. Myawaddy is the final destination of scammers in Southeast Asia. There are dozens of locations in the north. Can trade with each other. If this area is no longer needed, can be sold to other areas. And in case no area willing to accept, the victim will be sent to the sea medical ship, where all values on the human body will be able to be exploited to the fullest extent, so almost no one can survive, and was ransomed to leave Myawaddy. Once on board the medical ship and out to sea, life of the victim will enter the final stage. It is rumored that, on the medical ship, there were surgeons who lost all humanity. They do not hesitate to act cruelly. No one has compassion. Go inject anesthesia for the piglets. The victims in a conscious state will try to struggle in despair. So before the surgery begins, the chosen one will be fixed on the operating table. Feel the blood slowly flowing out. When too much blood is lost, will gradually fall into a deep coma, so there is no need to use anesthesia anymore, but can still easily perform surgery. Furthermore, amount of blood drawn can also be sold for extra cash. After completing this sequence of actions, piglets on the operating table officially said goodbye to the world. What hurts more is, even when all value has been exhausted, the ship owners still not let them go peacefully. All those who died on the medical ship will be thrown into the sea, merciless. Let their deaths slowly sink into oblivion. Not a trace left. Despite the many scary rumors relating to the northern region of Myanmar, with the medical ships at sea, has been widely spread. But there are still naive people who do not care. They assumed they themselves will be lucky, escape from dark fate, when setting foot in Myawaddy, and they do not know that, with extremely complex terrain, along with the bloody history of Myanmar's civil war, long ago predetermined, that this place is a dark place with no way out, where every dream, all were crushed in the whirlpool of blood and crime. Northern Myanmar, covered by majestic mountains and vast jungle, is a melting pot of many ethnicities. Because of these harsh natural conditions, has turned this place a land full of conflicts and decades-long power struggles. Besides, British colonialists also applied various policies to dominate for each area in Myanmar territory. This has caused the conflict to escalate and further increase internal divisions of Myanmar. In 1948, although Myanmar has gained independence, but internal conflicts in this country, still no sign of abating. On the contrary, for various reasons, Myanmar government and ethnic armed forces, still often, there are armed conflicts. To maintain power and existence, local tycoons are constantly looking for different sources of income. However, in such a chaotic context, common forms of business was impossible. At this time, the local tycoons began to have dark intentions. As long as the job makes quick money, they will proceed to implement. These people promote the trade in illegal goods, take advantage of complex terrain and environments. Northern Myanmar quickly became a global hub for illicit trade, and this business brings huge profits for the tycoons. But after a while, due to pressure from the international community, for prohibited goods, along with the emergence of new types of prohibited goods, has weakened the position of northern Myanmar on this market. After the market became narrow, the tycoons, forced to find other ways to make money. At this time, they want to aim at developing the industry, lottery and gambling. However, tycoons in northern Myanmar, long accustomed to brutality and barbarism, they cannot sustain this industry in an effective way. At first, there are still people who are fooled, go to casinos to spend money, but after they witnessed, security guard easily pulls out gun, just because of one sentence. People started to stay away. Entertainment venues and casinos. In northern Myanmar, this is the reason, cut off main source of income of the tycoons. Just at that moment, a gang of scammers has attracted the attention of tycoons in the north. In China, anti-online fraud reform started to be deployed on a large scale. Scammers have no way out, tried to run away. They carry assets, hurriedly ran to the north of Myanmar. Due to historical factors, so most of northern Myanmar can all speak Chinese fluently. Customs also have similarities. Even the telecommunications network, also connected from Yunnan, China. Plus this place is in the region. 3. No responsibility. So online fraud gangs decided to choose this area as the new operating area. Feel the huge profits from phone scams. Local tycoons did not miss this opportunity. Immediately signed an agreement with the fraud gang, provide the location and necessary resources, promised to ensure security to support these activities, and the profits will be divided equally. This cooperation has created conditions for the fraud gang to thrive. They are constantly expanding their sphere of influence and increasing the sophistication of scams, from impersonating the agencies of justice, banks, courier companies via SMS, and other types of identities, to the use of social networking applications. Profits from scams each year can amount to billions of dollars. However, this number still does not satisfy the insatiable greed of the tycoons. To gain more profit, these people have gradually turned into demons and lost all humanity, no longer care about human interests. Unlike in northern Myanmar, where online fraud has turned into a full-fledged industry, Myawaddy emerges with an even darker reputation, that is, the world's largest organ trafficking center. To reap huge profits per year, there are millions of victims from countries such as China, Thailand and Laos have fallen into the trap of this black market. Myawaddy is more than just a place on the map, but also a symbol of brutality and greed, where human love and compassion was buried in the ghostly light of profit. This problem has existed for a long time. For those who dream of a good life, so was fooled, and get caught up in the traps. In northern Myanmar, then they quickly realized that no cake fell from the sky, as the attractive promises at first about a leisurely job with a hefty salary, and when they realize they have been fooled, then their fate is no longer up to them to decide. To protect yourself, need to always be vigilant, never trust promises about getting rich quick, because only honest labor is required. Only then can sustainable wealth be created and help you enjoy joy and happiness with your beloved family. Today's story is ended. True Case Team wishes you and your loved ones lots of health, joy and happiness. See you in the next video. Goodbye.